What's up guys, this is Suryanshu, and in this video we are going to design 3 sections of this home page, which are the hero section, the clientele section and the services section. And for the remaining section I'll be designing them in the second part of this video, so make sure you click on that subscribe button and hit the bell icon to get notified about the second part. So let's begin. Before starting, I just want to show you guys a cool extension which is called the CSS Peeper. So if I click right here and click on this element, it will show me the name of the font size, the line height and various other things. So let's say if I click on this background, it will show me the background color. And what else it can do is, if you go back and click on colors, it will show me all the colors which are present on this page, and I can simply copy them with just a click. And if I go to this assets option, you can see all the images which are present on this page are right here, and you can export them as well with just a click. So this extensions come really handy when you start creating websites, as suppose you are on a website and you like a font but you don't know the name of it, so you can simply click on this particular extension and it will give you the name and various other things about that font. So the link to download this extension is given in the description, and I will recommend you guys to download this. Now let's move towards designing our page. For this, go to pages and click on add new. Let's call it a home page. So if you are using the OceanWP theme, make sure to disable the title and the breadcrumbs. Now in the page attribute, select the Elementor full width template, as the Elementor canvas will also remove this header and footer from the page, and since we are going to need this on our website, we will be selecting the Elementor full width template. So click on publish and let's edit this with Elementor. So as you can see, we have our header and footer, and on the left side we have the Elementor panel, which has all the elements like button, image, heading, space, icon. Some of these elements are locked because we are using the free version. So we have some more elements right here like image box, icon box, star ratings, gallery, progress bar. And so let's start designing our page, and you will learn about these elements once you start doing these by yourself. So let's begin with this hero section. For this, click on plus and select the first structure. You can select this structure and be more creative, like if I select this structure, we have 2 separate columns now, and in the first column I can drop an image, and in the second column I can drop some text and a button. So you might have seen some like this particular, like as you can see, I have used the two column section, and on the right I have dropped the image, and on the left I have dropped a heading, a text editor and a button. So be creative with these, and let me just create this particular section first. So for this, click on plus and select this blank one. Now go to heading, go to elements and drop the heading element right here. But first let's add this image in the background. For this, you can click right here, edit section, and go to style. Here in the background type you have 4 different options like slideshow, video. You can add a video in the background as well, but we are going to add an image only. So for this, click on classic, and inside you have this image option. Select this image. You can select any of the image you want. I am just selecting this for an example. Now in the size, go to size and select the cover option. Let me just show you what it does, but let's increase the height of this section a bit. For this, go to layout and go to height, and right here if you select this option, it will increase the height of this section to your entire screen, but since we don't want that, we are going to select this minimum height, and let's increase the height to around, let's say 600. Now go to styles, and before it was like this, the image wasn't aligned, and I selected this cover option. So what this does is it automatically adjusts the image based on the dimension of the structure. So you can try these other options as well, and if those look better, you can use those options, but I am going to use the cover option. And in the position you can change the image alignment as well. So if like I select this top right, okay, so I have selected this cover option, so it won't work. So let's so if I do the center, it will bring the image to center, and if I do this top left, so you can play with these settings. Now let's go back and change it to cover. Now let's add this gradient. For this, edit this section again, and inside, since we already have a background image, we can add a gradient from here. So if we add a gradient, we will lose our image. So let's do this by going to background overlay, and what it does, it adds an extra layer over our image. So if I select a single color, let's say red, so you can see we have the color over the image and our image is still visible. So let's clear it and go to gradient. Let me just I was using this color for gradient, so let me just copy this. The second color was the default one, as you can see right here. So let's make it a bit dark. For this, let's increase the opacity to 0.85, and let's change the angle to around 320. It looks quite similar now. So let's add we already have a heading right here. Let's edit this, make it center aligned, and let's change the text, web design agency. Now let's see what the text was. So it was, the font was Oswald, and the font size was 94, and the font color was white. So let's go to edit, style. So if you click right here, if you can click right here, or you can click directly on this heading, and we have these options right here, and in the style we can change the color. So let's change the color to white, and inside typography you can change the font. So we have a huge number of fonts right here, and you can be creative by selecting various type of fonts, but I'll be only using Oswald and Poppins in this tutorial. So let's select Oswald for this heading and increase the font size to 94. Now in the weight, if you increase the weight, it will make the heading more bold, or it will make it thin. So you can choose this accordingly, and in the transform I will do this to uppercase. In the style you can make it italic, or you can do this oblique, but I am not going to do any of these. And in the transform you have options like underline, overline, and I am not going to use these as well. So I will explain these in just a minute. So we have this section ready now, and let's add this text section. For this, let's drop this text editor right here, and let's increase this text by duplicating this line. Go to style, let's make it center align and change its color to white. Now in the typography, I was using the Poppins font, and the font size was 17 and the line height was 25.5. So let's make these changes. Font size 17, font Poppins, and make sure to change it to PX, and let's change it to 25.5. PX stands for pixels. So now we have so if I increase this, you can see the line, the space between the two lines is increasing, and if I decrease this, basically you understand what I am saying. So let's change it back to around, let's do it 25. It really doesn't matter as of now. And if you change this letter spacing, you can see the space between each of the letter is increasing, and you can decrease this as well. So let's not touch this as of now. Now we have this section, but we want to reduce this width. So for this, what we can do is we can either go to advanced, and we have this two option right here, and I will explain them in while designing the services section. So basically it adds some space, the margin adds some space on the outside, and padding adds some space on the inside. So if I want to add some space on the left and the right hand side, I can simply add some space, like say 250 on the left and 250 on the left and 250 on the right. So it looks quite similar, but the thing is it creates some difficulties when you make this page mobile responsive. So let's not do this, and let's drop this inner section right here. So we have a section inside a section now, and this has by default 2 columns. So let's delete this one, and let's drag and drop this inside. So now we can click right here and change the content width accordingly. This looks good to me, and we have few options like full width. It will change the width to max, and in the box you can change it accordingly. So that looks okay. And now let's add the button. For this, drop the button just below this text and make it center line. Let's change the text. Here you can add the link where you want the person to go when he or she clicks on this button, and let's change the size to medium. We can select an icon as well. Let's add an icon now. So we have our icon before the text. We can change the position by going to icon position and selecting the after option. We can also change the spacing between the text and the icon by dragging the slider. So it was good by default, so let's leave it right there, and let's go to style. Here we will change the font. So we are using the Poppins font for all the text and Oswald for all the headings. So I have chosen the Poppins font right here, and let's change the text color to black and the background color to white. We can also add a gradient, but I'm not going to do that. And in the border radius, so if you add a border radius on all the edges, you can see it slightly curves the edges. So in order to make this button circular, let's increase the border radius to somewhere around 50, and you can see we have a similar looking button. Now if you go to hover, you can select let's say white color for the font and black color for the background. So if someone hovers on this button, it will change color. And you can also add an animation like let's say grow animation. So it will change the color and it will also animate, and you can use these settings and be creative with them to create different type of buttons. So this was just a small example. You can also add border. So let's add a dotted border. Let's change the width of this border to 2. You can see we have a dotted border on the edges. There are different type of border options, so you can be creative. I am not going to add a border right now. Let's increase the height of this section a bit more. Let's do 700. So this looks quite similar to this particular example. Now let's design the clientele section. For this we need to add I guess 6 images. So let's click on plus and let's select this structure. So we have 1 2 3 4 5 6 columns right here, and let's drop the image element. Let's select our image. Let's change the width to around 75. You can change this accordingly, whatever looks better to you. I am just changing it just like based on these designs. So now as you can see, the image is black right here and I have a colored image. You can either leave it like this or you can use this option, CSS filter option, and let's decrease the saturation, increase the contrast and decrease the brightness, and it will make the image black. This is really optional, and since I love these type of images, I did this. You have various other options as well, so you can decrease and increase the opacity, and you can also like if you hover on it, it will decrease the opacity or increase the opacity. So you have various options. As I said, be creative. You can also add animation, like if you hover, it will pop or it will bounce in. So go and play with these settings. Now let's say you don't need to add another image right here and apply these settings once again. So you can do this in multiple ways. For example, let's say if you add an image again and let's select this similar image. So now you don't have to apply these settings again. All you can do is you can simply click on this element, right click on it, click on copy, and go back to this element, right click on it and click on paste style, and it will automatically paste all the style settings from this image to this image. So it comes really handy when you design, like you have to create a button and you want to apply same style settings on this the next button as well. So you can simply copy the style settings right here and you can simply paste them right here. So actually I don't have a button right here, but okay, fine. So let's moving on. So for the NAS 6 I can simply duplicate this section as well. Let's duplicate this 5, 6, and let's duplicate these empty sections. Now let's increase the height of this section a bit. For this, go to minimum height again and let's decrease the height to somewhere around, let's say 110. Now go to style, and in the border option we have this box shadow option. So if you click on this pencil icon, you see we have a shadow right here, but we have the shadow on the top as well and we don't want it. So we will change the vertical position of this shadow, and if we drag the slider it will bring down the shadow, and if we drag the slider on the left side it will move the shadow upwards. So let's drag it towards right a bit. So we have the shadow now on the bottom, and let's make it a little light. So for this, reduce this. You can also change the color of the shadow. For this you can we have a green shadow right here. I can change color to let's say blue or anything, but I really don't like these color shadows, so I will just make it a bit black. Now this looks good as well, so let's move on and design our third section, which was the services section. For this, let's create a section structure right here, and let's the first element was the heading. For this you can either copy this directly and not paste style, just simply paste this element. So we have this element, because it's white we can't actually see it. So let's change the color. Let's see what the color it was. So let's copy this and go back and paste the color right here, and let's decrease the font size a bit, around let's say 50 looks fine. Go to content, change it to our services. Now let's add a divider below it. So for this, go to elements again and choose the divider element. Let's reduce the width of this divider to around, let's say 14. Center align this. Now go to style. You can change the color as well. You can increase the weight, so let's increase the weight a bit, and you can increase and decrease the gap as well. So let's reduce the gap, and let's make the weight around 3. It looks fine to me. Now let's design these boxes. So for this, click on plus, select this structure, this, and we have these 3 separate columns now. So this element is actually an icon box, and we have this element right here. So let's stop this. I have already downloaded an icon. You can download these icons as well. I will give the link to the website in the description. The website is Flight Icons, so you can download these icons from there. So simply let's change the heading to WordPress. You can also enter a link right here. So if someone clicks right here, it will go on that particular link. You can change the icon position to left, to top, or to the right. So as I kept saying, be creative. Let's go to style and let's change the size of the icon. Let's make it 115, and for the spacing you can increase and decrease the spacing between the icon and the title as well. Let's make it around 12. Now we can also rotate the icon. Okay, not this one. So we can rotate default icons which are available in the icon library. So as this is an external icon, I guess this option won't work right here. So let's go to content and let's change the color of the title. Let's change the font to Asphalt. Let's increase the font size a bit. 32 looks fine to me, and let's for description let's just change the font to Poppins. So now we have a box right here with our icon, a heading, and text. So let's duplicate this. Now let's add some space in between these. So for this, click on this element right here and click on advanced. To add an space inside this box, we have to add some padding, and to add some space outside this box, we have to add margin. So since we need to add some space inside the box, let's add some padding of around 30, and it looks good to me. And let's right click here, copy, and let's right click here and paste style, paste style. Now let's add this border. For this, click right here, go to style, go to border, and let's select a solid border of 1 pixel width, and let's change its color to pink. So we have this border right here. Let's copy and paste style and paste style. It is important that if you copy the style setting of an element, make sure to paste them on the element, and if you copy the style settings of a column, make sure to paste them on a column. So let's paste style. I guess I already did that, and let's increase the height of this section a bit. Let's do it 185. Looks fine. Okay, let's add some padding to this section. Okay, let's add some margin since I want some space outside this box as well. So let's add a margin of 50. Sorry, I added the margin in this particular, so let's select this one. And okay, so I made a small error, so okay, let's not worry about it. Simply basically what happened is I created a new section for these icon boxes, and these icon boxes are not in this section. So what I can do is I can simply drop this inner section right here. I can duplicate this column and I can simply drag these right here. So now let's copy the style settings and let's paste and paste. Let's delete this. Now let's add some, let's increase the height of this section. Okay, so we are using the padding, so that's why it's not working. So let's increase the margin to 50 and 50, and as you can see we have some space outside the box on the top and outside the box on the bottom. So don't be confused. You can drop down your confusions in the comment below if you are confused with any of the settings which I just changed. So let's add some top margin right here. Let's say 30. And as you can see these lines are intersecting and we want some space between them. For this, what we can do is we can click right here and let's add some margin, because if we add some padding it will add the space inside the box and not outside, and the lines will still intersect. So let's reduce the padding and let's add some margin. And as you can see we have added a 20 px space outside the box. So let's go to style and in the border let's change the border radius to 10, and you can see we have a curved border and some space outside. So let's copy and paste style, paste style. So we have this section right here. Let's reduce this gap by reducing this margin. Let's do it 20 and it looks fine to me. So we have created this section, these three sections, and what I want from you guys now is that I want you guys to create the remaining half of this page by taking some inspirations from various other websites. By doing this you will get familiar with the options available in Elementor and you might learn a few new things as well. So make sure to play around with these settings, and I will be dropping the remaining elements of this page in the next video, so make sure to watch it out, and till then stay safe and I will catch you guys in the next one.